Welcome student, this is Dr. Avidha. Today we are going to discuss atomic structure. Atomic structure, how this atomic structure of atom we have generated and how this structure of atom has been introduced, we will discuss in that. This is the very initial or very basic topic of chemistry. So this is for BSc first year students. We will discuss what are atoms. From the very beginning when the science introduced, we are studying about the structure of atom. Much more we are going to know today also. So structure of atom or the atomic structure we will discuss under these following heads. We will discuss the atoms and the Dalton atomic theory and Thomson atomic model, Rutherford atomic model and the Bohr atomic model. So see, these are few very few atomic models which we are going to discuss today. So first of all, what we are going to discuss, this is atom. What is atom actually? When we are talking about chemistry, it means anything which occupies space and having mass is called matter. And how matter is generated? Matter is made up of a tiny particle that is called atom. So the building block of matter is atom only. So just like the biological bodies, individual body, the building block is cell. And in chemistry, when we are talking about the matter, how matter is generated actually. What is matter? Anything which occupies space and having specific mass is called matter. So the building block of matter is known as atom. So all the matter is made up of atoms. Atoms are the building of sort of how brick are the building block of houses. So just clear in your mind that atoms are the building blocks or the minor unit of matter. When we are talking about matter, the first theory or first evaluation or first information related to atom that comes from the Dalton atomic theory. What are the Dalton atomic theory? Dalton was the first person who has worked on this. Earlier also the people said that matter is generated with a punch, and not theoretical concept or the postulates or no theory was given by any scientist. So this was the first theory related to the atom. The first is Dalton atomic theory. As per this Dalton atomic theory, that was hypothetical theory and some corrections also generated after the research has been done on this atomic structure. So first of all, we will talk about John Dalton's atomic theory. As per the Dalton atomic theory, all the matter is made up of atom. So that was correct. Till now it is correct that all the matter is made up of atoms only. Atoms of an element are identical. In any element, all the atoms are same or the similar type or the similar nature. Each element has different atoms. Every element or every matter or having the different kind of atoms. So atoms can engage in the chemical reaction. Of course, this is a active initial minor part which can actively participate in the chemical reaction. So atom can neither be created or nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. When a chemical reaction takes place, some atoms combine together, form some compounds or molecules which are converted. So their properties can be changed after the reaction, but the number of atoms cannot be changed. From the both sides, the number of atoms will remain same. So because atom can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction, atom is indivisible. So as per the Dalton atomic theory, atom cannot be divided, which is not correct actually. After some time, after some theories and some models, when some subparticles of atom generated, we got to know that atoms are not indivisible. It can be divisible actually. But in chemical reaction, no doubt you can tell about the atoms only. You cannot tell about the electron, proton, neutron. They are participating definitely. But we are talking about the indivisibility of. So these 2, 4, 6, the 6 postulates given by the Dalton, and this is called Dalton atomic theory. Now we will come about the Thomson model of atom. Thomson atomic model actually, after the Dalton atomic theory, to prove in them or to check the wiseness or this hypothetical concept is correct or not, many scientists has worked on that. So the first model which generated by a scientist, that was given by J.J. Thomson. Thomson given a model that atom is spherical. Atom is spherical and the electrons are embedded in it. Electrons which are a negative charge particle is embedded in that, and complete atom is spherical and which is positively charged, and these electrons are embedded just like watermelon sheets. Sheets are embedded in the watermelon or the palm pudding model, it is also called the palm pudding model. So as per the Thomson atomic model, all the electrons are embedded just like pudding, raisins in the pudding. So this was the Thomson atomic model, which was given the postulates. An atom consists of a positively charged sphere. The whole sphere was positively charged and electron embedded in it. Second, an atom is a whole electrically neutral because the positive charge which found on the sphere is equal to the charge present on the electrons, negative. So one positive, one negative species are present in the Thomson atomic model, but overall it is neutral because how much the positive charge is available, the same kind of negative charge is also available. So the atom is neutral species, neither positive nor negative. Limitations of Thomson atomic model. Some limitations came because it failed to explain the stability of an atom, because his model of atom failed to explain how the positive charge hold the negative charge, because electrons are not flowing, not interacting with the positive charge particles, then how they are neutralizing to each other actually. Therefore the theory also failed to account the position of nucleus in the atom. So as per the Thomson atomic model, there was no nucleus, everywhere the charge should be equal. Thomson model failed to explain the scattering of alpha particle on the thin metal foil. So some photoelectrical effect and the scattering of alpha particles on the metal foil was also not explained by this Thomson atomic model, or no experimental evidence in it support actually. Any experimental support was not available for this. So this model was not having n number of possibilities, because as per the Thomson atomic model there was no flow of electrons. So without flow of electrons, Faraday law that time came. So everyone know that flowing of electron is responsible for the electricity. So as per this model, electrons are stuck on some specific places. So how they are interacting to each other and neutralize overall atom, that was also a questionable thing. And scattering of alpha particle on the thin metal foil, that was the photoelectrical effect, was also not considered with this Thomson atomic model. And there was no experimental evidence which support strongly this Thomson model of atom. So these actually limitations can be overcome by some other further researchers, and this further research has been done by Ernest Rutherford, Goldstein, and many more work on them. So now we'll discuss about the Ernest Rutherford, that's Ernest Rutherford. In 1871 he born, and around till 1937 he died. So before that tenure he has done research, and he has also proposed a model that atom should be like this. As per the Rutherford atomic model, he has done some experimental work on atomic model, and he told that atom is spherical and all the positive charge in the nucleus only, all the positive charge found in the nucleus only, and electrons are moving in the orbit just like solar system. Sun is just like the positrons in the solar system, how sun is in the center and all the planets are moving in their orbits. So the same situation is just like in the atomic model also. The sun, on place of sun you can put some positrons or positive charge particle, and the negative charge particles or the electrons are moving in their orbits. So regularly their continuation they are in moving. So now the stability, you can say that electrons are in moving phase and positrons, and overall atom is spherical and that is neutral. That's as per Rutherford also. So have you understood? For supporting his atomic model, he had done some experiments also. The first experiment he had done, that gold metal foil, he has scattered some alpha particles on gold metal, thin foil of gold metal, and he has observed that when alpha particle beams are scattering on the gold foil, some alpha rays are come back at 180 degrees Celsius, some are deviating from their path and some are straightforwardly moving. You can see this ray directly going straight forward, this is more deviating from their path, and this is directly coming back. It means he observed with this experiment and make some postulate related to this. So what he has actually observed with this postulate, that atom is majority of the place is vacant, so the alpha rays can be passed out, and somehow it is deviated from the positively charged nucleus. Nucleus is found in center, so from where very strongly these alpha rays come back, he found that a very small area of atom is having strongly positive charge, where strong positive charge is high. So this positive charge alpha beam and the positive charge repelled to each other, and this beam came back at 180 degrees Celsius. So, and very few are just deviating from their path. So what you can see, that this is the majority of the alpha rays. This was the situation of majority. Very few deviated from their path, and some or very few come back. So this was the gold Rutherford experiment of gold metal foil. Now next we can, what are the postulates he has generated? The major space in an atom is empty. A large fraction of alpha particle pass through the gold sheet without getting deflected. Therefore the major part of the atom must be empty. So as you can see in this is the majority part of the atom. A very small amount space is occupied by central nucleus only. The majority of the space is vacant, so these alpha particles which are positively charged easily can pass on from the atom. So next postulate is, the positive charge in an atom is not distributed uniformly and it is concentrated in a very small volume. Very few alpha particles when bombarded were deflected by the gold sheet. They were deflected minutely at a very small angle. Therefore he made the above conclusion. See, as per this, a very small amount space is occupied, so very few are just deviating from their path, and a very rare came back actually, which came in the central part, that only came back. So very few alpha particles had deflected at a large angle or deflected back. Moreover, very few particles had deflected at 180 degree. Therefore, he concluded that positively charged particle covered a small volume of an atom in comparison to the total volume of the atom. So, as you can see in this structure, this is an atom. Atom is a spherical. Negative charge particles or the electrons are continuously moving without any orbit. They are just continuously moving now, and the positive charge proton are found in the nucleus. So nucleus is completely positive charge and the sphere is completely not negative charge. Their particles are negative charge which are moving together. So a few limitations are found in the Rutherford model also, which overcome by the Bohr atomic model. So we will discuss about the limitations. According to the classical electromagnetic theory, any charged particle revolving around another oppositely charged particle, it should lose its energy and ultimately it should fall into the nucleus. An atom should collapse, but the atom is continually to be stable. So this was the biggest limitation of Rutherford model, because as per the Rutherford model, atom is spherical and spherical electrons are continuously moving together, so they are colliding to each other also, and colliding to each other, or they can contact with this collision, with this the effect of the collision, these can come in the contact of nucleus also. When these are a charged body regularly moving, definitely slowly it lose their energy and fell down in the nucleus, but atom is always neutral. So this model was not get much more attention from the scientists, and their limitations has been overcome by Bohr atomic model. So now we will discuss about the Bohr atomic model. As per the Bohr atomic model, nucleus is found in the center, and where positive charge electron, positive charge proton, negatively charged electron, and some neutral species also. Till the time when Bohr atomic model came, electron, proton, neutron all discovered. Proton discovered by the Rutherford, electron discovered by the Thomson, and the Chandwick discovered neutron also. Some much more interesting experiment has been done for the discovery of electron, proton and neutron. So when Bohr atomic model came, then that time Bohr know that electron, proton, neutron in neutral body is also responsible for the atomic mass. So as per the Bohr atomic model, protons and neutrons found in the nucleus and electrons are moving in their specific orbit. So whenever a body or the charged body is moving in their own orbit, they are not losing or gaining energy. When these energy particles or the electrons are going up or down from the orbit, then only they are just losing or getting energy. So we can say that as per the Bohr atomic model, he given a model then with central nucleus, and the first orbit is known as K shell, second orbit is known as L shell, next orbit is known as L, K, L, M, N, first, second, third. This is the first shell is K, second is L, M is third, and fourth is N. So the number of electron found in the specific orbit is depend on a formula that he has given, that is 2n square. So 2 into 1 square is equal to 2. So the maximum electron found in the K shell will be 2 only. And 2 into 2, 2n square means 2 into n is the number of shell. 2 into 2 square is equal to 8. So in the second shell, this 8 electron will move. 2 into 3 square, that's 18, and 2 into 4 square, this is 32. So 2, 8, 18, 32, these are the magic numbers actually which are responsible for the moving orbit or the shell where these are generating. So lower energy, an electron is getting energy or losing energy when it is going lower energy level to higher energy level. So whenever electron moving from K to L shell, it needs some energy. When it moving down from L to K shell, it releasing energy. So an electron is required energy only when it moving from lower energy level to higher energy level or higher energy level to lower energy level, that's vice versa. Otherwise with their continuous energy they can revolve around nucleus in their specific orbit only. So what was the Bohr atomic model's limitation? Some few limitations still remain, and that has been completed with the electromagnetic theory, and the other theories has been clear this. So it violates the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Heisenberg uncertainty principle is not clarified with this Bohr atomic model. The Bohr atomic model theory made correct prediction for smaller size atom like hydrogen, but poor spectral prediction are obtained when larger atoms are considered. It failed to explain the Zeeman effect also, and some other spectral specification, or you can say that some spectral properties are not clear by the Bohr atomic model. But much more from Dalton atomic theory to Bohr atomic model, much more predictions has been changed. So this was the next to the Rutherford model. Thank you. In the next lecture, we will discuss something much more about that discovery of atom, how these electron, proton, neutron discover, how these discovery, which kind of experiments we have done. Thank you.